Hello everybody. I'm doing this video to do a wrap up of the books that I've read so far this year. It's been over half the year now. It is July 29th of 2025, and I have only finished 4 books so far. And I'm okay with that. I'm not the type of reader that, you know, likes to stack books and read and read. It takes me time to read stuff, and I'm also jumping around as well across different books. There's bookmarks in 20 different books right now. And I did not all start these this year. I just happened to finish them this year. So let's get right into it. The first one that I finished was Karl Ove Knausgaard's My Struggle, Book 1. Um, it it is about a man uh, recounting his days when he was young. He's kind of describing his life in Norway, I believe. Um, and it's very kind of, I don't I don't want to say stream of conscious, but it is kind of stream of conscious in a way. It's more of like recollection of just major and also very minor instances in his young life. Um, yeah, it's I enjoyed it for one because I kind of like that introspection in um, people's lives. Not much happens to him, like specifically. This is kind of like an autobiography, so it's not like a story he could just make up. Um, yeah, there's also multiple books in this series. I forgot how many there are, but this is just book one out of like 5 or 6. Um, and it's a lot of it centers on his father and his relationship with his father. It's not really a spoiler alert. I mean, his father dies, and he dies because of, I'm assuming. In the end, you do get a little more color into his alcoholism, but it doesn't start out that way, right? As a younger boy, Karl, um, had a more, we could say, stable father. It's not until his older years where his father is just plastering himself every day and living with his mom. Anyways, living with his mom, Karl's grandmother. So, I think it's well worth it. I would give My Struggle Book 1 a 5 out of 5. It's just my cup of tea. I just it's just I don't know. I love it. I just love like long introspections on someone's life. Um, and when there's like 4 or 5 books, that just even intrigues me even more because it's like, what else could he say? I'm actually in the. I already started the second book, so I am currently reading that. Yeah, let's move on to the second book that I do not have because I had borrowed it from the library, and it is, and let me get the actual name right. Too Big to Fail: The Inside Story of How Wall Street and Washington Fought to Save the Financial System from Crisis and Themselves, by Andrew Ross Sorkin. So this is like a, what, 600, 700 page book. Not Also, My Struggle, by the way, is also pretty long. It's about 400 plus pages, I believe. Um, but Too Big to Fail, it is about the 2008-2009 financial crisis that really started back in 2007 because of the housing crisis. So this book is the Too Big to Fail is really interesting because it kind of gives you a play-by-play, day-to-day just interactions and thoughts of people that were involved with this whole situation. People in government, people in banks, people in investment firms, CEOs, CFOs, etc. Uh, and Andrew Ross Sorkin, he's a journalist, um, and he just got this insider information detail on these people and what they said to other people, and it's just I really enjoyed the book, even though at times it could be monotonous and very like dry. Because of the subject matter, I was able to still enjoy it, um, even though there is a lot of uh, typos and grammar mistakes and stuff like that. Like a lot. Like I don't know what the hell happened with the editor, but he was asleep on the wheel. That kind of stuff kind of took me away from. I don't know. It was so much that it did bother me. But other than that, like if you're interested in the financial crisis, then you should pick up this book. All right, moving on. The next book I have finished so far this year, 2025, is Stephen King's On Writing. This is a pretty famous book. I've been wanting to read it for such a long time, and I don't think I've read a Stephen King book. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we keep hearing he's the goat, but I read what I like, right? Everybody reads what they like, what they think they will enjoy. But anyways, on this book in particular, it's more about his kind of he's just advising the new writer. Even though I do not aspire to be a writer, you know, I think all readers have a dream of writing a book, publishing a book, whatever it is. But we never act on it because we're not serious about it. But Stephen King, it's great because it's like he gives you like a kind of like an autobiography of his life, along with this reference of how to write or how to write well. So yeah, it's interesting. I I don't know what more to say. Just that if you enjoy reading, if you enjoy writing, if you're interested in what makes a story good, read the book because not only is does he go over some good advice, but also it's really funny at times. Like he's a funny guy. At least the way he speaks is. Um, and there's also like nice little anecdotes of like stuff back when he was writing and certain books and kind of his thinking behind stuff or his inspiration behind stuff while writing the book. So I know he talks in this book, he talks about like the time when he was writing Carrie and what was happening to him during that time. Also The Stand and what was happening to him during that time. Um, so yeah, it's cool. I like it. Moving on to the final and fourth book is kind of random actually, and it's a debut novel. It's called Henry Henry by Alan Bratton. Um, I don't know how I mean, first of all, Henry's my name, so maybe that's why I was like, ooh, what's this? A book that has my name twice, you know? So it is not really what I expected. If you guys are familiar with it, which I'm not, it's kind of loosely based or heavily based on Henriade by William Shakespeare. I have no idea. I guess it's a retelling of Henriade. I don't know. But for those who do know, maybe that will give some good context. Um, so this book is about a British 20-something-year-old in a back in I think 2016, 2015. The book is set during that year. Um, and it's kind of just like his. It's kind of like it's kind. I kind of the closest thing I would probably describe it as is kind of like Holden Caulfield in J.D. Salinger's book Catcher in the Rye, but in a gay way because the main character is gay, and he has kind of like, but he's Catholic, so he's kind of like self-hating in a way, and he kind of like tries to hide like his gayness. I don't know. It's I don't know how to explain what's happening with him in this book. I kind of do, but I just don't want to go into it because I don't want to get into spoilers, and I want you to experience it yourself. It's more about his struggles with his father, who was a big part of his life, and his struggles with just modern day living or 21st century living, let's say. Um, so yeah, it's about loneliness, trying to find connection. It's about addiction and just crying out for help, but not knowing how to express that. Um, he meets a big part of the book is he meets somebody. It's his former friend that he used. Well, I guess you could say frenemy that he just kind of loathes at first, but then they get together. Yeah, this book could be very smutty at times, which I wasn't expecting. That's not really my thing. I'm sophisticated. No, I just don't read that kind of stuff. So that was a surprise, and I was just like, okay, whatever. So yeah, at times I would be like, oh my god. So yeah, but yes, I did enjoy the main character overall. I know maybe many people would just straight up hate him, but if you could tolerate kind of despisable characters, then you'll like Henry. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I enjoyed it. It's about 350 pages, so not terrible, lengthwise. So yeah, those are the four books. I hope you enjoyed me talking about them. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.